My name is Jacco and I am a reader in the Department of Economics and Related Studies, and you will encounter me in the spring term if you choose the module Introduction to Statistical Theory, also called IST, a bit shorter. And my own background, I've been in York for 2 years now. I did my undergraduate and PhD in the Netherlands, where I'm originally from, and I worked in Dublin Trinity College for about 6 or 7 years before I came to York. My research area is very much, I work on valuation and timing of investments under uncertainty, which means that it's a fairly mathematical topic, and a lot of the tools that we use, a lot of the basics of the tools that we use in that kind of area do actually come up in IST. So this IST really is the basis of everything. What we basically do in IST is generally ask the following question: how can we say, based on partial information that we observe from, say, a small group of people, how can we draw conclusions that are valid for the entire population? So, for example, if you want to know something about average income in the UK, obviously you're not going to ask every person in the UK what their income is. You ask 2,000 people at most, and you want to try and use that information to say something about all 60 million of us in the UK. And how to do that, and how to do that properly, is the topic of statistics. So the module IST is generally considered by students, I think, to be a fairly difficult module. And the reason is actually fairly simple, because in order to be a good statistician you need to be able to do a lot of different things. So you need to be a competent mathematician, you need to be able to think like a statistician, and you need to be a good modeler. You need to be able to translate real-world situations into mathematics, and then at the end translate the mathematics back into the real world. And these are skills that are not easy, and that's why you start building those skills in your first year. And in York, in the first year, there are 2 first-year statistics courses. One is called Introductory Statistics, the other one is IST, about which I'm talking now. And the main difference between the two is that if you choose Introductory Statistics, you learn how to use existing statistical techniques and how to use them competently. If you choose Introduction to Statistical Theory, not only do we teach you how to use the statistical techniques, we also show you how you develop statistical techniques. So if you are interested in becoming not just the driver of a car, but also a mechanic, IST is the option for you. Because of that, because we have this more technical approach, you do need to have an A-level in mathematics in order to be able to do this module. And as I said, students tend to think it's a fairly difficult module. Now obviously we offer quite a lot in terms of support teaching to make this module as, well, I wouldn't necessarily say as easy as possible, but as palatable as possible. So one of the things we do, for example, is that I tend to record podcasts on topics of which I know that students find them difficult, just to give additional explanations. We have seminar teaching, so in fairly small groups we discuss problems. We mark your homework a number of times a year so that we can give you personal feedback on what you're doing. And of course we provide lecture notes and textbooks, etc. to help you study this material. But it's very much like learning to play the piano. You can watch your piano teacher for years, but you can only learn to play the piano if you actually get cracking. So that is very much a very important ingredient in a module like IST. Well, I think that the most important thing about the A-level maths requirement for IST is that you're confident in using the things you've learned. So that you're confident about using natural logarithms, e-powers, differentiation, integration. Because a lot of what we do uses those kind of techniques, and we really don't have time to go through all that again. So if you do find that you want to do IST, but that you don't feel confident enough on those topics, make sure that before you start, you have revisited those topics. Having said all that, of course, IST is also a very enjoyable module, because you do learn what we call transferable skills. Transferable skills is a very big thing in university and higher education at the moment. IST is your typical transferable skills module. The things that you learn in this module, the way of looking at problems, the way of dealing with problems, of analysing problems, is useful throughout your professional career, whatever you are going to do. And it's a sought after skill. It's a skill that not that many people have, which is why it's a popular skill with employers. So the way the module works, the structure of the module is such that the first term really prepares the ground for the second term. So as I said, the main issue in statistics is how you can infer from a sample something about an entire population. The way we do that is all based on probability theory. So that's what we do in the autumn term. The entire term we just do probability theory. And all that work that we do there is then going to be used in the second term to actually discuss the questions that I just mentioned.